In this video, we will cover the if functions. The if functions are the most popular conditional command in Excel. The if functions help you return a value based on conditional arguments. If a condition is met, you can assign a value to be returned. Conversely, a different value is also assigned if the condition is not met. There are three if functions: the simple if, the nested if, and the compound if. In this video, we will cover the simple if. Look out for parts 2 and 3, which will cover the nested and compound ifs. The simple if will give you a return value if a single condition is met or not met. For the formula, we start with an equal sign, if, an open parenthesis, a logical test, a comma, a value if true, a comma, a value if false, and a close parenthesis. Let's break down each component of the simple if formula. The logical test is the conditional argument. It is composed of two values with one of the following symbols in between: is equal to, is not equal to, is greater than or equal to, is less than, and is less than or equal to. The value if true is the value to be returned if the condition is met. And the value if false is the value to be returned if the condition is not met. For the application, here we have a table of students and their exam scores. I want to label the students with a score of 90% and up as passed and the students with scores of below 90% as failed. I will start with an equal sign, the function that we will use, which is if, and an open parenthesis. For the logical test, I will point to the cell of the student's score, which is B2, and add the symbol for is greater than or equal to 90%. Add a comma. For the value if true, I'll use the word passed. It is important to note that anytime you will use a text value or a word, you need to use quotation marks to indicate the value as a string text. This is true anytime you will use text, whether it be for a lookup value, value if true, or any text values you want to use outside of using the actual cell name. For numerical values, you do not need quotation marks like how 90% is written in our logical test. It is a numerical value, so we do not need quotation marks. I will add a comma here. For the value if false, I will use the word failed. Again, since the value I want to return, failed, is a word, I will need to indicate it as a string text. I will use quotation marks. You can read this as, if the score is more than or equal to 90%, then the student passed. If not, then the student failed. I will close the command with a close parenthesis and I will press enter. I will drag the formula to get the correct return for each student. Here we see which students get failing marks and which students passed. Just for another example, here we have a table of food items and the number of servings in stock. Let's say this document is updated every time a food item is ordered and served. I will label any food item that falls below 10 in stock as a reorder. If this condition is not met, I will label the food item as no action. So we will use an equal sign, if, an open parenthesis, the cell corresponding to the serving in stock. I will use the is less than symbol, then 10, comma, the value if true is reorder, comma, and the value if false is no action. I will close this and drag it down. I will use conditional formatting so that whenever a cell is labeled as reorder, it will be filled in red. This way, since the document is updated in real time, when a food item gets below 10, we will get notified that the stock needs to be reordered. That's it for part 1 of the if functions. If you need help creating spreadsheets for tracking or reporting purposes, or building an Excel-based dashboard, you may check our online services by sending us an email at support@octabitdigitalsvc.com.